Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll be showing you guys how to make this simple crop top with trumpet sleeve that I'm wearing. It's a very simple tutorial and very beginners friendly. So the tutorial on how to make this short pants that I'm also wearing is on my channel, so I'll leave the link in the description box. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe. So this is the fabric we'll be working with. It's 2 yards of Ankara fabric. But before I cut on my fabric, I'll go ahead to draft it on my pattern paper for more clarity. So I'll just set the fabric aside while we work on the pattern paper. So I have my pattern paper here. It's in a fold of 2. And this is the closed angle of the paper. So the first thing we want to do is to mark a starting line at the top of the pattern paper. So this line is going to be our shoulder line. So I'll just go ahead and label it as my shoulder line. So from my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. And to the full length of the top is 18 inches. The 18 inches includes 1 inch for seam allowance at the base. So I'll go ahead and extend these lines horizontally. So after marking out these lines, I'll come over to the shoulder line and place my shoulder to shoulder measurements divided by 2, which is 8 inches. And then from that point, I'll come down by my round armhole measurements divided by 2, which is 9 inches. And then I'll use my ruler to just extend the line this way. So I also connect this point to meet the 8 inches shoulder measurement this way. So this line is going to be our chest line. So the next thing to do is to mark out the neckline measurement. So for the wideness of the neckline, I'm making use of 3.5 inches. And for the depth of the neckline, I'll be making use of 4 inches. So after marking out my neck width, I'll just take my curved ruler now and connect the 2 points together, forming my neckline. So I'll connect the 2 points this way. So after I'm done doing that, I'll come over to the armhole line and take my shoulder slope, which is 1 inches below the shoulder line, and then I'll form a slant to meet my neck width, just as you can see me doing in the video. Then I'll come over to this armhole line again and take the middle point, which is 4 inches for me, and then I'll come in by 0.5 inches. And then on the chest line, I'll take my round bust measurements divided by 4, which is 10.5 inches. And then I'll use my curved roller to connect the 3 points together to form my armhole curve. So just place your curved roller this way and then connect the 3 points together. So after forming the armhole, this is what we have. This is what it looks like. So the next thing to do is to place our round body measurements on the lines. So this top is a free top and won't be having any dart. So on my bust line, I'll place my round bust measurements divided by 4, which is 10.5 inches. I'll add 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance, making 12.5 inches. And then on the waistline, I'll just subtract 1 inch from what I have on the bust line. So I'll be marking 11.5 inches on the waistline, which is also the full length of my top. Just mark it there, and then I'll take my ruler now and connect the 2 points together. So I'll just connect the 2 points this way, and then I'll just extend the line to my chest line. Just extend it this way. So the next thing we want to do is to cut it out. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So after cutting out, I'll use this pattern to cut on my fabric. So I've used my pins to secure my pattern on my fabric. So my fabric is also in a fold of 2, and this is the closed edge. This is the closed angle. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So after cutting it out, this is what we have when you open it up. So I'm going to use this front panel now to cut out my back panel, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. So after cutting out the front and the back panel, this is what it looks like. So for the neckline of the front panel, I want a little bit of opening at the center front. So what I'm going to do is to fold it into two this way, and then I'll take my tape rule and come down by 2.5 inches. So that's the length of the opening I want in front, 2.5 inches. And then I'll come over to the upper part and just mark 0.5 inches there, because I don't want the opening to be too wide. And then I'll connect it to meet my 2.5. So I'll just connect the points together this way to meet my 2.5 inches depth, and then I'll use my scissors and just cut that part out. I'll just cut it out this way. So when I open it up, this is what the neckline will look like. So by the time I turn it over, like to finish up the neckline, it's going to come out wider than this. So that is the front panel, and this is the back panel neckline. The next thing to do is to finish up the neckline and join the pieces of fabric. So before I join the front and the back panels together, I'll first of all finish up the necklines. So I'll be making use of bias strip to finish up the neckline of the front and back panels. So I have my bias strip here, so I'm going to go ahead and place it on my neckline this way, and then I'll stitch it very close to the neckline all the way around it. I'll stitch it very close to the neckline all the way around it. So when I'm done doing that, I would form small notches on it and then use it to turn it over to the other side and then stitch it down all the way around. So I'll repeat the same thing for the front panel. So you can decide to use your fabric to turn it over, or use your or use your bias strip. So I'll do that and finish it all the way around it. So when I'm done finishing the necklines, I'll show you guys what it looks like. After finishing up the necklines of the front and back panels, this is what we have. This is the back panel. So for the front panel, I use the same fabric to turn it over because of the design I have on the neckline. So to cut out the facing to turn over the front neckline, I just placed the front panel on another fabric this way, and I traced out the neck design I have on the fabric. So after doing that, I made sure I put about 1 inch allowance on the side, and then I cut it out. After cutting out, I placed the right side facing my neckline. I stitched it to it, and then I used it to turn over, just like I explained earlier. So right now, to join the pieces of fabric, I'll put my front panel and my back panel facing each other, right sides facing each other, and then I would use my pins to secure the shoulders together, just as you can see me doing in the video. So I'll take it to my sewing machine now and stitch it using 1/2 inch on the shoulder points. Then before I join the sides together, I would go ahead to close up the base. I'll take in 1/2 inch first and 1/2 inch again with our 1 inch folding allowance we left at the base. So before we close up the sides of our top, we'll be attaching our sleeves to it. So I'll show you guys how to cut out your sleeves, and then we'll attach. So I'll be showing you guys how to draft out the sleeve on a pattern paper just for more clarity. So I have my pattern paper here. I folded it into two, and that is the closed angle. This is the closed angle here. So the first thing is to draw out a starting line at the top of the pattern paper. And then from this starting line, I'm going to take the full length of my sleeve, which is 22 inches plus 1 inch for folding. That is 23 inches. So go ahead and mark 23 inches here. And then I would extend the line. So after extending the line, I'll come over to the starting line, and then I'll mark my cap's height, which is 4 inches. So if you want to learn how to draft a basic sleeve, I have the video on my channel, and I'll be leaving the link in the description box. So I'll just extend the cap's height line this way, and then on this new line I just drew, I'll mark my round armhole measurements divided by 2, which is 9 inches, and then I'll connect it to meet the edge of my paper. Connect it to meet the closed edge of your paper this way, and then I'll take my tape rule and look for the midpoint of this line, which is 5 inches for me. So right now I'll just use my curved ruler to connect it to meet the lower part. So I have a detailed tutorial on how to do this basic sleeve pattern. So I'll connect it this way. So I'm done with the upper part of my sleeve. So I'll go over now to the full length of the sleeve and then mark the width. So depending on how wide you want the width of your sleeve to be, remember it's a trumpet sleeve we're drafting out. So for me, I want about 13 inches on fold. So when I open it, it will be about 26 inches. So notice that the 13 inches is inclusive of the seam allowance. Right now, take my ruler and just connect the 13 inches to meet the upper part of my sleeve this way. So this is basically all for the trumpet sleeve. So I'll go ahead now and cut this out. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to use this pattern now to cut out my sleeves. I'll just use the pattern to cut out my sleeve. So the next thing now is to join the sleeves to our top. So after cutting out the two sleeves, this is what we have. So the next thing to do is to attach it to our top. So I'll just go ahead and open up the armhole point this way. And then I'll take my sleeve and place them right side facing each other. So I went ahead to notch the center point of my sleeve. So I'll match the notched points to the point where I join the shoulders together. And then I'll use my pin to just hold it down. Hold it down this way. And then I'll just join the remaining part of my sleeve to the armhole opening this way. You can decide to just sew it directly, or you can use your pin to secure it first before you sew. I'll do the same thing for the other side of the sleeve. So after securing with my pins, I'll take it to my sewing machine now and just stitch it all the way down around it with half an inch seam allowance. I'll join the sleeves to the top. So by the time I finish stitching it, I'll have something that looks like this. So I'll go ahead to also finish up the base of the sleeve. I'll fold it in by half an inch twice, and then I'll attach the other sleeve to the other side of the armhole, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after attaching the sleeve to the top, this is what it looks like. So right now, I'll place the fabrics right sides facing each other this way. And then I'll take it to my sewing machine and use my 1 inch allowance to join the sides together. So I'll stitch it all the way down. When I get to the armhole point, I'll also stitch it this way all the way down to the sleeve opening. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'll stitch it all the way down using my 1 inch seam allowance. So I also went ahead to finish up the base of the top just like I said earlier, and I finished up the sleeve. So when I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys the finished product of our crop top. So guys, after closing up the sides of the top, this is what we have. You can see how beautiful the sleeves came out, the trumpet sleeve. So this is where we'll be ending our video for today. So guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. I'll go ahead and give it a good press now, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when I wear it. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.